is the big, hard-working forward. Marius Rios, number 5, is a 33-year-old playmaker, and the pace man is Jorge Bermudez in the jersey number 9. Great scenes, as you can see, the South Stand, which was full an hour and a quarter ago. The match will be controlled by Australian Anthony Moyes. Capacity crowd here on day 2 of the HS, the Cathay Pacific Credit Suisse Sevens World Series here in Hong Kong. Scotland yesterday played their get-out-of-jail card against Tonga. They were down at 10-0 at one stage and they managed to fight their way back in the second half to win that game. They tied it right on the final hooter. Andrew Skeen was the man responsible for getting them over the line. So Mexico in the white and black strip up against Scotland in their traditional blue. As Harkness takes it forward. Now Scotland looking now to just put phases together. Retaining possession, looking for mismatches, pushing the ball wide. Mexico, you can see, coming up in a line, good solid line, good defensive line as well. Scotland more possession, and they've gone backwards by 20 metres, but that's okay in sevens as long as you've got possession and you're able to get through gaps like this. And so Scotland now some forward momentum into their own 10-yard line. Harkness goes in. Mexico guilty of hands in the ruck. Well, it's easy to say. We'll see what the game plan is for the big Scottish team. Ross Miller. Miller with a bit of space, one man to beat. Miller with a big handoff. And Ross Miller will score Scotland's first try. Man on debut, first try in the World Series, the 25-year-old Locke. Also plays number 6 and 8 in the 15-a-side game. Here's Harkness. Very few options, and this is a piece of individual brilliance. Really came across. Rios had no chance on the big man, pumping the legs. You can see the expression in his face. Conversion unsuccessful. Scotland with an average age of 22, averaging 6 tournaments each. So least experience of the core teams, and it's a big change for new coach Graham Shield. Mexico trying to get some possession, but once again beaten at the set piece, and more for Scotland as they move it out wide. This is Tom Burry. Deep inside the Mexican half. Players out to the right, the whole team is out there. Harkness running across field, he needs to straighten. Good tackle coming in from Jorge Bermudez. On the Mexican side, they've conceded plenty of points in the tournaments that they have played in. 4 tournaments, 22 games played, including the one last night where they were beaten by Samoa by 64 points to 0. And that's another error of not finding touch from a penalty. Oh, this is better from Scotland, moving it one way then the other. Burey, Tom Burey. Well, you can see the Mexicans are all rushing in, so that 7 players all within 10 metres. Once they go wide here, there will be a try. Good sevens play from Scotland. They need to go wide. Harkness will score the second. Yeah, the Mexicans guilty of ball watching. Everybody running across the field as opposed to staying in position. And Fraser Harkness, 5th event, 6th try. Look at that, that's good clean out coming in from Mike Adamson. Now they pushed it wide. Ross Sampson went through the half gap. And Fraser Harkness knows the way to the try line. So 2 to the big guys. Entering the halfway stage of the first half in Mexico. Finally with some possession, but in their own half. Bermuda's trying to get it wide. Henning's got plenty of pace. Henning now breaking the first tackle. One defender to beat. Not much support coming in from his teammates. I think it's been knocked forward. There he is. Graham Shield. 18 caps at centre for Scotland. Replaces Stephen Gemmell, now Scottish Rugby's head of player development. That man on screen there played for Melrose. Of course, sevens was invented in 1883. Good set piece from Scotland. Rios guilty of coming around. Yeah, Scotland 12-10 against Tonga last night. I'm sure they would have had a chat about that. Gave the Tongans far too much space and possession. Now looking to try and score their third try of the match. They need to come wide. And Skeen played such a big role in that game last night. As the 4 tournaments that the Mexican team have played in, 22 games played, they've lost 21. They've only scored 33 points. There he is, Pierre Simon. Had a chat with him in the hotel this morning, actually. Said that they're realistic, they're trying to just make sure that every game they improve. And the goal of Hong Kong is to win at least one game. Realistic goal of winning one game. Well, won't help their causes with mistakes like that. And this is Miller. Scored the first try. Scored the first, looking at, well, he went too far, didn't he? And then threw a 50-50 pass. Little mistakes like that certainly do add up. Oh, this Mexican side, they've got plenty of supporters out in the South Stand. I've seen plenty of people dressed up as Mexicans. Of course, they introduced the Mexican wave, or La Ola. Said to have started back in the 1950s during a football match in Monterrey, Mexico. Really during the 1986 FIFA World Cup in Mexico that it became widespread and generally referred to this way. So no doubt there'll be a few Mexican waves in this stadium over the next 2 days. Or better set piece from Mexico. Still in their own 22, and that is an option of inexperience. So hard to get the ball, and when you get it, you don't kick it away and give it to Scotland for them to counter-attack as they just have. This is Adamson. Adamson with some support on the inside. Skeen is there. Now Sampson looking wide. This is Fido, Mike Fido. And Fido scores the third. It's a forward fest for Scotland. The 3 big guys have scored. Harkness, Miller, and now Michael Fido, his 7th try. Studies sports science at Napier University in Edinburgh. And that really came from the awful kick from the Mexican team. They had possession, they gave it back. 2 phases later, Scotland have scored their 3rd. So after 7 minutes, Scotland lead by 19 points to 0. Good handback from Nadal into Rios. And that's another problem there at the breakdown. Scotland bigger and stronger, as we saw with yesterday's Samoa. The Mexicans having to send in so many more players than other teams. Possession again to Scotland through Skeen. Out wide now. Burry looking for the playmakers and bringing it back from one way to the other. They've regrouped, and there's players out to the right here. Harkness scored one of the first tries, as did Fido. Fido now looking to try and make it the 4th try. Goes on the inside, and that's a very good pass to Tom Burry. Scotland have 4. 23-year-old who's represented Scotland at 18, 19s and 20s. Look at this. It's really just possession. Far too big and strong. That's a great break. And then looking on the inside in between the players from Mexico. Fourth try was converted, 26-0. Well, these two sides have met in San Diego in 2009. The goal for Mexico would be to try and keep it under 50 because that's what the score was on that occasion. 50-0. Can Mexico score at least one try? They've got to hold on to possession, and this is a better break now coming from Carna. Just letting themselves down at those basic skills. Change coming on. Herjon, a 20-year-old from the Black Thunder Rugby Club, comes on in jersey number 12. Well, you can see them struggling at the set piece, the kick-off, the line-outs, and also the scrum. It's always going to be a concern, the physicality of the Mexicans, not as big as obviously Samoa, Scotland, and it doesn't get any easier for them later on in the evening. They'll be taking on Tonga. Scotland now looking to try and get more points. Berry pushes it back. This is good play from Scotland. McDonald, now they go wide. Skeen, Harkness, better running, giving it to the smaller Johnny McDonald. He's an interesting character. We'll get to him a little bit later on. Backed up by Skeen. Skeen, the kick and chase. Ball is still there. Towed ahead by Fido. Will he score? That's his second.
Thank you. Time on.
Grounding's good. That's try number 5. As awarded. Good soccer skills by Michael Fido. Won the Scottish School Cup and Scottish Youth League Cup double in 2007. It just became a foot race here. Have a look at this. Was he taken out? It didn't matter because the ball stopped. Fido chipped it ahead and he won the race. Played in the Junior World Champs last year, the lovely Argentina in Rosario. So he's used to the big stage. Love to see Mexico get at least one try. Good footwork coming in from Carna. One way then the other. Rios looks out wide. Supporters out here. Wow, there you go. That's not a great pass. Pretty much paints the picture. And their only win for the Mexicans was against the West Indies, where they won 19 points to 12. Population of 112 million. Only 1,700 registered rugby players. In Mexico, obsessed with obviously football, and 65 rugby clubs. Some of them haven't got enough players to actually put a 15-a-side team together. Well, Scotland know how crucial it is to get points on board. Mexican coach looking on. He'll be thrilled if his side can score at least one try. That's the goal. Obviously, in the pool rounds, is to just get on the board. Desperately trying to get some credibility into the sport. Well, the passes need to be crisp. Cardinal going into contact. Still inside their own half. Slow ball coming out. Rios. Iborero. Nanad. This is better from Mexico. Stringing the phases together in good positions. The ball and passes are right. Henning. Still Henning. Getting out wide. This is Carna. Can Carna score the first try for Mexico? Probably seemed like a century. The kick. How's the bounce? Chase is good. And that's their first try. Brilliant moment for Henning. No emotion from the coach, but listen to the crowd. There you go, the first try for Mexico. in about 3 seasons as well. It's taken that long. The pass back from Karna, and then the chip kick. It then became a foot race. Henning too quick for Harness. Harkness. Look at the celebrations. Well, they'll be pleased with this outing, Mexico. As I say, they were thumped by Scotland by 50 points in their last meeting. Can they score again? Big crowd here would love to see Mexico get a second try. More ball. Advantage is over. Librero. Rios. Good step coming into. Well, there you go. That's the difference between the A-League teams or the top teams and so-called minnows. This is Skeen. He's going to do what he did last night against Tonga and go the length of the field to score the 5th try for the Scots. Wasting no time, Andrew Skeen, with the conversion. They're out to 40. Crucial kick last night. It was all tied up. And look at this. He got the ball, pinned his ears back, he backed his pace. And placing the ball down. Well, no time for the restart. And that ends the game. Scotland far too good for Mexico, once again winning 40 points to 7.